Thank you for tuning in to today's advisory. Throughout the school year, advisory provides us time to relay information, provide directions, and educate our building related to elevating student awareness and encouraging positive experiences. Today, the counselors are hosting a spring house cleaning. 4 weeks ago, the groundhog predicted 6 more weeks of what's been a long, cold winter. Doom and gloom is about to escape us. There's only 15 school days before spring break. So we see student energy and excitement rising as events on the calendar quickly approach and the end of the school year is right around the corner. Posted in the atrium is the HOUSE acronym. And today's message is about encouraging student ownership of our building, ownership of our facilities, respect for our people, and embodying the concepts related to honor, optimism, unity, service, and empowerment. Spring house cleaning refers to how do we treat our house. We treat our house with kindness, compassion, and respect by cleaning up after yourself, encourage the ideas of others, be respectful of others' personal space and their belongings. See something, say something. Be inclusive with your language, assist those in need. Treat materials, tools, all school property with respect. And most importantly, utilize social media in a positive manner. The message today will be about a lot of upcoming events and information that we think is valuable for students to be aware of. Mr. Martin and Mrs. Centers are going to come and talk about dates, and then we'll have other guests mentioning important information.
Thank you, Mr. Collins, for that great introduction. Let's talk about some important dates we have coming up. Seniors, local scholarships, those are going to be due on March 14th in the counseling office. Remember, your transcripts that you will need to print out are available in School Link, so make sure you're staying on top of those and getting those knocked out. Spring break is coming up, as Mr. Collins mentioned. It's right around the corner, the week of March 24th through March 28th. Soon after that, prom will be Saturday, April 5th. Tickets will be available and more information will be coming on the announcement, so please be aware. Easter break will be Friday, April 18th and Monday, April 21st. Summer school applications, we've had some questions coming up in our office about those. The applications will become available the week after spring break. So let's talk about the classes that you'll be able to take. You can take a quarter credit of PE, you can take a half a credit of personal finance, and a half a credit of health. Again, registration will begin the week after spring break, and you should be able to pick up forms in the AP office, or you could find them on the school website. If you have requested to take any of the following classes next school year, AP Psychology, AP US History, or any AP and Honors English classes, information will be shared during the last couple of weeks of school year in May regarding summer work. Make sure to be listening for announcements on how to access that summer work. It might be joining a Google Classroom or picking up assignments from that AP teacher. If you have signed up for an AP Art class, Mrs. Crace will be sending out a letter to those students. Mrs. Centers, what important dates do you have for us?
Thank you, Mr. Martin. March 11th is the last day to make any changes to your course planner on School Links. If you have any changes you wish to make, please sign up to see your counselor. The students that have been accepted to the Warren County Career Center will be taking a field trip on March 13th. We will be passing out permission forms for this next week. These will need to be returned to the counseling office. After that, the Warren County Career Center counselors will be here on March 20th to finish up your scheduling, whether you want to be full-time or part-time at the Career Center. A next really important date is April 1st. If you intend to participate in CCP at any university, you must first complete the intent to participate. Failure to do so will result in you not being able to participate in CCP. Next, if you are going to take classes through Sinclair, April 14th is the registration date opening for those classes. If you are currently a sophomore wanting to register for English 1101, you will need to take the AccuPlacer in order to register in April. And now Mr. Wilhite will discuss our testing calendar.
Thank you, Mrs. Centers, Mr. Martin. As we've come to find, the spring is testing season for students in the state of Ohio, and we've got plenty of testing coming up. And I just want to go over some of those dates and some important reminders regarding testing. On Tuesday, March the 11th, that will not be a normal school day here at Springboro High School. Our juniors will be reporting to take the ACT. The report time for that will be normal school time of 7:25, and where you are to report will be posted on the clinic walls in the next week. So you'll be able to go by your alphabet and see which testing room you're supposed to be at. Juniors taking the ACT will not have to register for the ACT on their own. That has been taken care of through the school, and there is no cost for the test to our juniors taking it that day. Important to know, juniors must bring a photo ID with them on the test day, and they will be able to be admitted into the test that way. Other classes who aren't taking the ACT on that day are encouraged to seek out job shadowing opportunities, community service involvement, and those kinds of things. So plan ahead so that you can use that day to the best of your advantage. Moving into April, we have our state testing, which is end of course exams. For end of course exams, these are depending on the classes that you may be in, and they're certainly by grade level. On Wednesday, April the 9th, and Thursday, April the 10th, we'll be taking our English 2 end of course exam, and those will be 2-hour delays. So students who are taking the English 2 exams on those days will report at normal times, and students who are not in English 2 will report on a 2-hour delay schedule, and there will be school on those days. When we move into the following week, on Tuesday, April the 15th, we will be giving the Algebra 1 exam in the morning and the U.S. History exam in the afternoon. On Wednesday, April the 16th, we'll be giving the geometry exam in the morning and the government exam in the afternoon. Only students taking those exams on those 2 days will report to school. Other students will not have school on that day. On Wednesday, April the 23rd, students will take the biology end of course exam in the morning, and the afternoon testing session will be used for makeup testing for any of the end of course exams that have happened in the month of April. There will be a homeroom coming up in early April, where students will be given a testing ticket to use for their end of course exams. Students must bring that testing ticket to every exam that they take, as you'll need to use that to log into your exam. In May, we will start AP testing. AP testing runs from Monday, April the 5th until Friday, April the 16th. New this year for AP testing is that College Board will have all of those exams online. They will either be called fully digital or hybrid digital, but they will be online. So students will be using a school-managed Chromebook to take their AP test. I would encourage students who are taking AP tests to log on to their computer and upload Bluebook. Bluebook is an app that you will be taking the test on, and you are able to put that on your own computer and do some practice with it. And students are encouraged to talk to their current AP teachers about how they can do that. So that kind of wraps up our testing through the next several months, and I'm now going to toss it to Mrs. Mitchell. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wilhite. As we've been talking about today, we're going to be having a bunch of different schedules coming up over the next few months, and just in a couple of weeks we have spring break. As we see with these changing in schedules, and of course hopefully some warmer weather coming up over the next couple of months, we see sometimes motivation to come to school wanes a little bit. So it never hurts to actually revisit what our attendance policy is. So I'm going to take a couple moments right now to go over and give you all reminders about why it's important to show up to school, especially as we're heading into fourth quarter. If you remember, you have approximately 12 excused absences that can be excused through parent notes throughout the school year. Now, parent notes can be used to exclude anything from personal illness, where you don't go to the doctor, to a pre-approved trip that you take with your family. Any other illness you may have, if you go to the doctor, please make sure that you are bringing in a doctor's note. It's incredibly important to bring in notes to excuse these absences, not only for your overall attendance, but also to ensure that you can make up work that you've missed. When you have missed school, communication is incredibly important. Bringing in those notes from a parent and or a doctor to excuse your absences, in addition to communicating with teachers when you've been out. A lot of times we'll see students get overwhelmed when they've missed school, and that's completely understandable. But if you have, for example, a planned absence like a college visit, if you're a junior or a senior, or a trip with your family as we're heading into some longer breaks, make sure that you're communicating with your teachers ahead of time. If it's an unplanned absence, as soon as you get back, make sure that you're communicating with your teachers to help create a plan so that you can get caught up on any missing work. Keep in mind that we have different definitions for different absences. Of course, a full absence is when you miss the entire school day. A partial absence is arriving more than 90 minutes late to school or leaving more than 90 minutes early. And a tardy is arriving less than 90 minutes late to school or leaving less than 90 minutes early. An early dismissal, of course, would be considered leaving school early. One of the reasons we talk about attendance is because your success here at school is often directly linked to attendance. In case you didn't know, something important to remember as we're heading into fourth quarter, for any semester course you're currently in, you must pass fourth quarter in order to earn credit. And for any year-long class that you are currently taking, you must pass second semester in order to earn credit. One of the easiest ways to do that is to make sure you're coming to school. So even though we know there are so many temptations out there as we're heading into spring to not come to school, we all get excited about having time off, please make sure that you are making your attendance a top priority. Speaking of attendance, one of everyone's favorite topics is exam exemptions. So let's take a moment to just go over and give you all a reminder about what exam exemption criteria is as we head into final exam season here in a couple of months. First and foremost, exam exemptions have two criteria. The first being attendance. In order to be eligible to exempt an exam, you must have missed no more than 4 excused absences. Now, these absences must be excused either by a parent note or a doctor's note. Any unexcused absences or tardies, even if it is arriving at 7:32 a.m., can disqualify you from exam exemptions. Outside of the exam exemption criteria for attendance is the grade criteria. In order to exempt an exam, you must have earned at least an 83% or higher average for both third and fourth quarter before being able to exempt an exam. Now remember, you cannot exempt the same exam in 2 semesters. So if you did qualify to exempt exams first semester, you cannot exempt this same exam for the same class second semester. Keeping in mind the attendance policy for exam exemptions, you have to have missed no more than 4 full days or a combination of full and partial days. So a partial day, for considering exam exemption criteria, would be considered anything up to half of a school day. So if you have 2 full excused absences this semester, plus a half a day here, a half a day there, as long as all of those are excused and do not add up to more than 4 full absences, you meet that first criteria for exam exemptions. If you meet those criteria, the number of exams you can exempt each semester just depends on your grade level. For freshmen and sophomores, you can exempt up to 2 exams as long as you're in at least 6 academic classes, not counting study halls. For juniors, you can exempt up to 3 exams if you are in at least 6 academic classes. If you're a CCP student, your CCP courses do count towards your overall course total, but of course you can't exempt CCP finals, so please keep that in mind. And seniors have the ability to potentially exempt all of their exams, again, provided they meet the attendance criteria, the grade criteria, and you are not exempting more than 1 exam. If you are curious as to whether or not you meet that exam exemption criteria for attendance, make sure you're checking Progress Book. You can check your attendance at any time on Progress Book, and if you have any questions about whether an absence was excused or not, please reach out to Mrs. Runnels in our attendance office. Now, speaking of exams, as we head into the end of the school year, we start to see a little bit of burnout here or there. Please remember to keep up with your assignments. Make sure you're studying for your exams ahead of time, and make sure that you are participating in some self-care. One of the best ways to improve your overall mood is getting outside. As we are getting out, hopefully, of this long, cold, lonely winter, we are looking forward to having some more sunshine and hope that you can all take advantage of that. So thank you for listening today, Panthers. Make sure that you stay in school, and we hope you all have a great end to this school year.